In the previous class, we have discussed regarding the linear measurement, that is regarding the chaining and taping. Okay, in that we are also seen that the errors in chaining. Okay, the different types of errors that we are going to see, and the different types of tapes, different types of chains that are available, that we have seen in the previous class. Now, in today's class, we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is nothing but ranging. Okay, the ranging is very important in order to carry the survey work. This particular thing is very important. Okay, now ranging. Okay, what is ranging? We should understand first the process of locating the intermediate point, right? The process of locating the intermediate point on a survey line is nothing but called as a ranging. Okay, I will repeat it. The process of locating the intermediate points on a survey line is nothing but we call it as a ranging. That means, now suppose now when we are going to have this ranging, that also we will see, and then we will see how we are going to have the ranging. Okay, now when a survey line is longer than a chain length, right, it is necessary to align the intermediate points on a survey line. Okay, now when the survey line is no longer than a chain length, it is necessary to align the intermediate points on a survey line. Now suppose there is a point, we are having a chain of around 20 meter, right? We are going to have a chain of around 20 meter. Now if we stretch it, right, A and point B1 are in the same line. If we stretch the chain, it will be A and B1, it will be on the same line. Now, but what we want is, we want to have the point B. Now when we are going to use the survey ranging, when the survey line is greater than the chain length. Okay, now if we want the point B, B1 and A, if we want to have it into the straight line, what we need to have is, we need to have the ranging. Okay, now if we want the point, now A and B are beyond the, it is up to the chain length. Now if we want to locate the point B into the straight line, now what we need to have is, we need to locate the intermediate point on a survey line. Okay, we need to locate an intermediate point on a survey line. Now the point B, B1 and A, if we want to be in a straight line, right, if we want to be in a straight line, what we do? For that we are going to do the ranging. Okay, now we will see there are two types of ranging are there. One is direct ranging and the other one is indirect ranging. Now when the 2 points are visible, okay, the point A and the point B are visible, then we are going to have the direct ranging. Now in a ranging, what we are going to do? We are bringing all the intermediate points in a straight line. Okay, the process of locating the intermediate points on a survey line is nothing but we call it as a ranging. So here, if we want to range A and B, or if we want to have the intermediate points, that is P1, P2, then C, P2, P3 and P4, if we want to have it in a straight line, right, from A and B, we need to range it. Now we will see how we are going to do that in the direct ranging. Now what we want all the intermediate points to be on a survey line. Okay, now we will see how we can do it. If the first, there are two methods, one is direct ranging and the other one is indirect ranging. If the 2 points are directly visible, the point A and B, these are the 2 points which are directly visible from each other, and what we are going to do, we are ranging the intermediate points. If we the ranging of the process of locating the intermediate points in a survey line, if we want all these points to be in a straight line, A, P1, P2, P3, P4 and B, if we want to be in a straight line, what we do is, we are going to do the ranging. Okay, So this is your direct ranging. Now we will see the first condition, that is nothing but the ranging. Okay, the first point, direct ranging when the 2 points are visible. Now here when we are going to have the direct ranging is when the points A and B are visible to each other, then we do it as a direct ranging. Now in order to have the direct ranging, what we want is we want the two ranging rods, okay, and one surveyor and one assistant. Now the ranging rod A and B, right, they have been fixed, right, they have been fixed, A and B they have been fixed, and the surveyor will stand 2 meter behind the point A and he looks at the point B. Now the A and he looks at the point A and the point B. Now we need to locate the intermediate points. Now we need to locate the intermediate points. Now suppose the point C is the point C is not on the survey line. Okay, it is not on the survey line. Then the surveyor who is going to stand at A, he looks at B. Now the point, the assistant C is standing far away. The point C is far away from the ranging line. Now what A will do is he will tell the assistant to move inside. Okay, here there is an arrow mark has been shown. He will say that, okay, to the assistant to move towards the survey line. Then the surveyor will come towards this. Okay, he will slowly come towards this. Still he is not in this particular survey line. Okay, he is not in this particular survey line. He has come here. Okay, now again the person who is standing at A, that is the surveyor standing at A, he directs the person C to come in a line. Now the A, C and B are in a straight line. Now this is how the ranging can be done. Now the points A, C and B are in a straight line. Similarly, the other point, suppose similarly there are other point such as suppose if the C is, if he moves to bit away from the point C. Now if he moves away, again this surveyor, what he tells the assistant, he will tell the assistant to move towards the point C, that is at a center. Okay, now the surveyor looks again, he ranges again, A, B and C are in a straight line. This is done when both the points are visible. This is called as an direct ranging. Now when the 2 points are not visible, we call it as the indirect ranging. I will see how we can do it. Now when the 2 points of a survey line are invisible, okay, then we are going to have the indirect ranging. Now it is invisible. When the 2 points, survey points are invisible, then we are going to have the indirect ranging. Okay, now if the 2 points ends of the line to be measured are not visible, then we are going to have this process called as indirect ranging. We also call it as the reciprocal ranging. Now when the invisibility may be observed is when the ground is uneven, or there is too much of distance is there, or a long steep slope is there in between these two, or there is an inclination is there, or a declination is there, then there is a possibility, then we should we should go for the indirect ranging. Now here in order to have the indirect ranging, now from point A, the point B is not visible. Why it is not visible? Because there is an ridge over present over here, so that reason we cannot range A and B in a same line. For that, what we want is we want the two extra ranging rod, that is the ranging rod at M and at N. Now how we should have the ranging is from the point A. Okay, from the point A, the point M and N should be visible. That is the reason why I have marked it with the red line. So if these three are visible, A, M and N are visible, then and again from point B, again B, N and M are visible, then we can go for this indirect ranging. Okay, for this there is a condition: the A, M and N, these three ranging rods should be visible from A, and the B, N and M should be visible. Then we are going to have this method of indirect ranging. Now we will see how we are going to have the indirect ranging. This is nothing but the side view, okay, and this is what the top view is. Okay, now suppose now here the person at M, okay, the person who is at the M, it is not in a line, okay, he is standing, it has been the pole M has been put at M1, okay, has been put at M1, and the person at A, okay, the person at A, he is going to look towards A, M1 and N1, and he finds that the M1 the person who is going to stand at M1, he is far away, okay, he is standing far away. So he tells the person to move bit inside, so that the line M2 and N1 are in the same line. Now again the person who is standing at B, here for this particular entire process we require 4 people. One should be at A, one should be at M, and one should be at N, and one should be at B. The person, he looks towards the person who is standing at M1, and he finds that the M1 is the line is away, so he tells to move towards the line M2. So M1 has been moved to M2. Now the A, M2 and N1 are in the line when it has been looked from the point A. Now the person who is standing at B, he will insist, right, the person who is standing at B and directs the N1 to move towards the line N2, towards the point N2, so that B, N2 and M2 are in the same line. Okay, I'll repeat it. The person who stands at A, he found that M1 is not in line, and he tells him to come to at M2. Now the person at B, he looks at the person at N1. Okay, earlier this was in line. Now he looks at a person N1, and he found that N1 is not in a line. So he will tell him to come towards the N2. So now M2, N2 and B are in the same line. Now again the person at A, he looks towards N2 and found that M2 is not in a line. So again he will tell M2 to come towards the line M3. So again A, M3 and N2 in the same line. Okay. Now again what B will do? Again B will range to the point B to M3 and found that the N2 is not in a line. So he will tell that the person to come to N3. So now B, N3 and M3 are in the same line. B, N3 and M3 are in the same line. Okay. Now this process will continue, and again what we will see, now A, M and N and B are in the same line. So this is how we are going to have the indirect ranging. Okay. Then we are going to see regarding the electronic distance measurement, that is EDM. Now in the previous classes we have seen that when the tape when we are having the small measurements, and then we can go for the measurement by using the chaining and taping. But if the distance is more between the 2 points and it cannot be measured very easily or in a very fast way, then we are going for the electronic measurement of distances that we electronic distance measurement, we call that number as an EDM. Okay, and again the distance measurement by tape, again there might be a possibility of error, but if we want to measure the distance between the 2 points in a very fast way, right, in a very fast way and in a very accurate way, then we are going to have this electronic distance the measurement, and it is when that it is used when the terrain is difficult and when the long distances we need to measure, then we are going to use this electronic measurement of distance or the electronic distance measurement. Here, the electronic measurement of a distance is being carried out by an electro-optical device with which is going to have the coupled with the reflector. This is a reflector, or we call it as a receiver also, reflector or receiver. Again, we are going to have here we are going to have generator. Okay, we are going to have the generator, we are going to have then your modulator, then transmitter and the receiver. Okay, now EDM instrument is generally gets mounted on a framework of electronic theodolite. It is going to have an electronic theodolite. Okay, and it is going to have an electronic theodolite. The net result is a single instrument termed as, we call it as an total station. Okay, we call it as an, it is normally it is going to be termed as a total station. You also might have heard regarding this. The total station, it is going to measure the distance by having by sending the electromagnetic waves. Okay, it is going to send the electromagnetic or the electro waves. Okay, now what it will do is, it is the modulated light. It is your total station, it is going to send the light to the reflector. Okay, it is to the reflector it is going to send, and this reflector, it can be placed at a far distance, right. It is going to place at a far distance. Now whatever the waves that has been generated, it has to be targeted towards the reflector. Now now the waves will hit this reflector, and again it is the reflector acting, it is going to act as a mirror, and it is going to reflect the beam again back to the receiver. This is again, generator is also having the receiver where the incoming light is converted into the electrical signal. The phase comparison mode between the projected and the reflected are the pulses. The transmitted and received signal are out of the phase, and it is going to be get measured electronically, and it is going to be registered, it is into the meter which is presented at the your receiver, and converted to the equivalent length. So this is the working principle of your the electronic distance measurement device. The distance can be measured by wavelength L is equal to V divided by F, where V is nothing but the velocity of the light torch, okay, in meter per second, and F is nothing but the modulating frequency. It is going to be measured in hertz. So this is how we are going to measure the distance by using the your EDM devices, electronic distance measurement device. So this is how we are going to measure. So in today's class we have seen regarding ranging and electronic distance measurement. These are very important the aspects, especially your ranging as a basic, and then the EDM is an advanced one. Okay, so we are going to end the session today. Thank you.